and now what? So let me just read through, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. We don't need the minimap. Okay, so I'm going to copy our main GD into game. So main is actually becoming game in this scenario, so I'll rename it game. Okay, and let's go back. And this game scene requires that script attached to it. Okay, so our viewport L, we'll call this split. Maybe we'll call this screen split. Okay, and if we look here, our viewport L is going to be equal to, if we oops. So this is now going to be screen split, right? And then suppose we can just call it P1 and P2. And then viewport. We don't need maybe we don't need to give them separate names. Okay, and then because as long as the parents have separate names, I think it's probably easier. Okay, so we have screen split P1, P2. So now this becomes P1, this becomes P2, and we called them just viewport. P1, P2, viewport camera, P1, P2. Okay. Oops. So that world is not necessarily going to have the players in it, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, and let's just instance the game for now inside this main. Alright. So then basically what we're saying is we have this world which is under the left viewport, and we just copy it across, and then we just make sure that the target of each camera is equal to the player. Then what I want to do is I want to go in and actually inside the game create a camera scene, and in fact I should have done this earlier, but I won't. This is our camera 2D, and it's going to be current, and we are going to grab our camera, copy our camera code, where was our camera code? Or was there any camera code? Thought I had some camera code. Oh well, it's fine. It's probably better to have these cameras instance anyway. So what we'll do is we'll drag that camera in there and delete that one. We'll just call that camera, and let's duplicate. Stick that in there. Call that one camera. So the reason why is basically that allows us to edit the camera for both players without tweaking both times. Okay. So the world for this viewport, I guess, is going to inherit from this world. Yep. Camera.target. I think that's all we need, right? Okay. So I think I'm just gonna start building this game and seeing how far we get through. It really should be main. Okay. Okay, now the camera definitely needs to be available. Target. Oh, there it is. It's under player for some reason. My bad. Okay, so let's copy that player, that camera, into the game. Because I think it's part of the game logic, right? And then what we do is we go into our camera scene and just attach that code. Oh my god, what's happening? So my computer's just locked up. Oh well, I mean that worked, but that was weird. Okay, so now our camera has this script and it's essentially just figuring out whether it's the left camera or right camera and tracking whatever it's being told to track, right? So cool. And then what we need to do in our game is just tell this camera that it's the camera on the left that it's the one on the left, so we can tick that. And cool. So now what's the next thing that's complaining? Reset target dot position. Okay, so it looks weird that somehow that player 2 isn't getting set. Target is null. So when we set up our players, I just want to do a breakpoint here and just verify that those players are getting set. Player 1, player 2 is empty. That's weird. Oh, I know why. So we need to actually access the player 1's viewport in order to get the player. Okay, so that will fix that error. Whoa. Icon. Well, didn't need that. Didn't need that. Okay, so what is happening next? So let's have a look at these colors as well. Overdrive 2 and Overdrive 3 look very similar. Okay, let's just update that. You go red. What do you do? No, actually, what you want to do is you want to do like sort of deep yellow. And then slowly just ramp up that red. I think. So okay, let's have a look. Controls. Alright, so yeah, we don't have our controls yet, so let's implement that. So that's going to be part of the game scene, right? So we've got our screen split, and we're going to add a new child node. I'm going to call this, well, it's going to be another HBox container, and this is going to be control split. Right, so essentially the left and right controls are able to 40 by 40 split independently of the screen. So the screen is in the middle there, and then we've got this control split, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a new VBox container. I'm going to call this P1, and in fact let's save this branch as a scene, and we'll create a new folder called GUI, and we'll call this a control or controls. Yeah, because it's controls. Alright. So then what we do is we duplicate that, and we've now got P1 and P2 controls. Fine. What we're going to do here is open up that scene, and we're going to give both the controls a size of about 100, I think. Okay, and now if we go back to our game, we should see them start to, well. So then what we want to do as well, let's just put, in fact, hold on, we're going to do something else. We're going to add a vertical separator in between these guys, and what we're going to say is that is going to horizontally expand, right? And these ones are also going to horizontally expand. Alright, so now we've got 3 equal panels, and if we go into the size flags, and we want this to be 4 times, maybe even more, 6 times the size. 8,